All right, this week's show is a 3-pager. We've got 6 major stories, so let's kind of jump into the first one. Google Stadia is coming to Mexico. I'm so thankful that we did Nerf Report in Espanol. Like, all of our videos are getting translated into Spanish, so all the new players get to see all of our Stadia stuff. So excited. This news got broke by Ben Shun over at 9to5 Google, and essentially, Google has announced a bunch of new initiatives at a press conference, including the news that its cloud gaming platform Stadia will be coming to Mexico. Now, this news marks the first major expansion for Stadia since 2020. We're almost 2 years from when they announced that they'd be expanding to a bunch of European countries. And Stadia being available in Mexico brings their availability to 23 countries. Overall, I think that this is killer news. You know, I do know Mexico traditionally is like Xbox territory, so I'm kind of really interested to see how that lands there. And the other thing that's kind of spawned since this all started was that 9to5 Google, there's a narrative around this story that people were like, man, they're being too harsh on Stadia. Specifically surrounding the fact like this is a good story, this is good news for Stadia, and they seem to be focusing in on, you know, also some of the negatives. Stadia shut down Stadia Games and Entertainment. There's a lack of games. And in all honesty, just really facing the reality of where Google Stadia is at right now. And look, this is me talking here. Mexico is very exciting. I think that that's a huge opportunity for Stadia. But Mexico does not solve the fact that we're only at like 30-something games on Google Stadia for this year, and both Xbox Cloud Gaming and GeForce Now are yards ahead of where Stadia is at. The Mexico announcement from Stadia does not bring games like Guardians of the Galaxy, Elden Ring, or LEGO Skywalker Saga to the platform. Yes, potentially having new players could bring the game to the platform, but in its current state, that problem is not solved. Yes, this announcement of Stadia moving to Mexico does bring the potential of new players coming to the platform, and hopefully more developers who see a larger player base. But without day-and-date releases, without titles to attract people to the platform, and without communication from the actual company to keep people interested, none of this changes. And I understand that I'm only talking about like a small segment of the Stadia community, and they're the most diehard Stadia supporters out there, and I don't fault you for doing it. Enjoy your platform, mazel tov to you. But to come out and say that 9to5's narrative is too harsh or it's not fair enough, I feel like that in its sense is disingenuous. If you don't tell your audience that there are problems, you're not being truthful to your listeners, to your readers, or even to the people who watch your show. It's the equivalent of being in a fishing boat that's filled with holes and you're just praising how good the fish are biting today. Meanwhile, your buddy Jimmy out here is just shoveling water out and he's like, hey guys, we got a serious problem. Yeah, we'll eventually get to it, but man, these fish are biting, huh? Look, I've been talking about subjects like this since I started the show. Anyone who purposefully goes out and changes a narrative is doing more harm. Just because a narrative doesn't make you feel good or doesn't make you have warm feelings inside doesn't mean that that narrative isn't true. And to tell your audience or tell people who are following you that, hey, this guy is being too harsh and he's not being truthful, that's just disingenuous and you're just not being forthcoming. So stop. Hey, thanks again for checking out our channel. If you like what you saw and you want to see more content just like it, which who wouldn't, hit the subscribe button right there. And while you're down there, hit the like button. Maybe even consider becoming a Nerf Report best friend, just like the people listed down below did. In fact, don't you want to see your name there? I know I do.